Hello, Matti.
Hello.
Let me officially welcome you to the Maintenance Analytics Summit and congratulate you on the presentation that you just gave.
Thank you.
Before we go on with further questions, can you please tell us more about yourself, your background, your area of expertise?
Yeah. So my background is originally from the university research side. So I did my PhD in theoretical physics, also modeling real-life phenomena, but on a really mathematical level. And after I had some experience in the university, I decided that I want to do something more connected to a real life. I had a short stint in a software design work, and then from there I got the spark to start looking into sensors, sensor data, and how that can be used to create some actionable insights into, in this case, elevator maintenance at KONE.
Great. So, Matti, you would agree that lately predictive maintenance is surely one of the most hot topics, if I may say, when it comes to asset management and maintenance. So where do you see the biggest challenges when it comes to this deploying the data into bringing value to maintenance, bringing actual results, actually predicting the failures? What is stopping the companies to apply this approach?
Okay. So collecting data is usually pretty easy. As long as some certain technical requirements are fulfilled, then getting data and putting it into cloud, for example, it's pretty easy. Then what is difficult, especially in these more modern machine learning methods, is that you want to close the loop. So you get the data in, but then you want to know whether the predictions that you've made, whether they were good or not. And to be able to make your algorithms self-learning, you need to get back some data. And in our case, for example, it's the field technicians that go there and visit the elevators, check what was the actual problem with the elevator, or if there even was any problem. And that needs to be reported back to us so that we can feed it back into our algorithms. So I think that's one of the biggest challenges. Another challenge in our case is that we have a wildly varying number of we have huge variety in our assets that we are maintaining. So in addition to our own KONE elevators, we also have our competitors' equipment that we want to maintain, and for those we also want to offer predictive maintenance.
Matti, you gave a presentation on challenges in modeling elevators for predictive maintenance. So a really practical approach to what is actually being done out there in this field. So what is done? What is modeling? How hard it is to use to build one, and knowing that KONE is a global leader in the elevator, escalator industry. So how do you do it?
So modeling basically means that you have some physical, real-world thing, in our case an elevator, and then you make a mathematical model for that. So let's say there are a certain number of inputs, and then the model tells how the equipment behaves in response to these inputs. And for elevators, one might think that they are simple devices. They move up and down as the user presses the call button. So, but also what is difficult there is that different elevators move in different ways. So they might accelerate in a completely different way. They might have completely different motors and the way how the motors are controlled, whether it's a variable frequency converter or if it's something else. There could be hydraulic oil elevators and there's large variety of those. So modeling an elevator usually would mean that you should model an individual elevator. But as you have, let's say we have close to 1 million elevators in our maintenance, we cannot just create or maintain 1 million models. So you need to somehow unify your models across those different equipment, and that's one of the biggest challenges in what we do.
So Matti, KONE is revolutionizing the elevator and escalator maintenance, and that's why I'm very thankful that you're here with us today. And the new KONE 24/7 connected services that are based on real-time data and analytics. So just can you tell us a bit more about this?
Yes. So we started last year with our own KONE equipment, and we started offering the 24/7 connected services to those, utilizing the data that we've been gathering from KONE elevators for a long time, and also the experience that we've got from what does this data actually mean. And now, from the beginning of this year, we also offer this service to third-party elevators and also escalators. And for third-party elevators, which is really my expertise there, we use external sensors that we actually retrofit to the elevator to gather the data that is required to provide this predictive maintenance also for third-party elevators.
Mm-hmm. So, Matti, you are a condition monitoring expert. And it was also mentioned today the importance of the specific knowledge, the domain-specific knowledge for the data scientists. What is your comment on this?
Yes, so if you just think of data as just numbers, then of course you can get some insights out of that, but it really requires the domain-specific knowledge to know what certain types of data mean. So for example, let's take an elevator, and there we put there, for example, an accelerometer to measure the acceleration. Mm-hmm. It's the first step is that you know that okay, elevator is something that moves up and down. So then you want to focus first mm-hmm. maybe on the vertical axis of the acceleration. This is just the first step, and as you dive deeper and deeper into the data, it's more and more important that you know how the elevator behaves in certain kind of situations, mm-hmm. what kind of events can lead to a certain type of let's say signal in the collected data. And I think it's very important in elevator industry, but also in all the other industries where you want to do predictive maintenance.
Mm-hmm. And do you think there is enough capabilities nowadays when it comes to this, because it's industry specific and it's machine specific even?
Yes, so data scientists are I mean, there's a large demand for them at the moment, and of course there are companies that are specialized in data analysis and who provide data scientists as mm-hmm. for example subcontractors or partners to us, but we always have to make sure that whoever works with us first knows some basics about the elevator operation. So it takes us some time to ramp up mm-hmm. a new data scientist before he or she can actually work on the elevator data.
Mm-hmm. So from your perspective, if you would be asked from those organizations that have just started, with the journey, because there are juniors mm-hmm. in the field as well, what would your first suggestion be? What should they prioritize?
I'm not sure if I'm able to give a like very good answer to this mm-hmm. one, because it depends a lot. Mm-hmm. You might say that you want to first gather data and see what can be deduced from the data. That is one way to start. Another way to start would be that you start from the customer. What are your customers' needs, and mm-hmm. you start by designing a service. And only after that, after you have decided that what you want to offer to the customer, only then you want to start gathering data, deciding what kind of data you even gather. So there are probably many ways to start this, and I'm not sure if any of them is the correct way to start.
And one last question, Matti, what is the prediction about this topic in the near future? Where do you see it going?
Well, for sure, there's a lot of talk about AI, neural networks, deep learning, and so on. For sure, we will have more of those entering the actual predictive maintenance operations. But I think there's still a lot to be learned also from more traditional methods like statistical methods, basic machine learning algorithms. So I think there's a lot of hype about AI. And but
do you think machines will be able to repair themselves?
Probably not. At least elevators not in the near future. You would need some kind of robots for that. Maybe yes. There was talk about ships where there are robots repairing the autonomous exactly. ships. Maybe there it will happen first.
Yes. Matti, thank you very much. It was really a pleasure. Thanks for being part of the Maintenance Analytics Summit and for conducting this interview.
Thank you.